Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Austin, Texas. This is day 533 of the 3 plus minutes of Plank Challenge. And as always, I am filled with gratitude. Thoughts on my mind today. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, Lydium, yesterday. And something that came up in my head was the idea of the desires of our hearts. I think that God decides to give us the desires of our hearts. But a lot of times we are not prepared for them. And so he sort of puts us through this test period, which gets us prepared. And I was looking at something she was talking about that sparked something that I needed to see and think about. And it's about the desires of my heart. And sometimes I come to God and be like, God, I know this is what you have for me. I know this is the plan you have for me, but somehow I'm not seeing it. And this battle that comes within me. But when I hear from other friends the things that they're going through, I start to realize the paths that we're taking and what we're going through and why we're going through them to better prepare us. Yesterday was a long day of flying, from Paris to get home to Austin. We left Paris a little bit late, which got us into Atlanta a little bit late, which I then misconnected. And then the next flight was at 5 o'clock. I didn't think I was going to make that flight. Actually, I think it was over so about 4 or 5, and then there were standbys ahead of me. And I remember thinking at the moment, like, man, God, I'm really tired. I'd love to go home. But it doesn't look like you're going to have me on this flight, and I understand. So whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. I'll be here. I'll wait till the next flight. And I know that you probably have some purpose for me. Well, at the last minute, I got the last seat on the flight. There were 3 ahead of me, but because they were traveling together, they ended up giving up that seat. So I got that seat. So I get on this plane and I'm grateful. I'm like, thanks, God. I appreciate you. Well, put me in 24C. Right next to me was a gentleman who was a good friend of a good friend of mine. And we happened to meet at this intersection in this moment of all places. And it was just an amazing conversation. And then this young lady, Holly, a flight attendant on Delta, comes up and she joins the conversation. And here's the interesting part about all of that. She had seen me earlier in the airport, about 30 minutes prior. I didn't see her, and something had struck her about me. But here's the funny thing. 20 minutes later, I see her and see the same thing. And at the same time, I'm watching the movie Serendipity. And what I realize is like there's this all interconnected thing that goes on. There are these moments that are supposed to happen. And as long as we tap into those moments, as long as we're patient in those moments, as long as we surrender to those moments, there is so much that will be revealed. And this was one of those moments, and I was so blessed and thankful for it. I keep working at being the best version of myself. I keep working at surrendering. I keep working at being more open to what God has for me. And the more He has for me, the more I feel blessed for it all. Anyway, I'm done for the day. Be blessed today and every day. Talk to you soon. Peace. Yeah.